So this is rare. We'll wait for some people to hop on. We'll just wait. Hey, Ashley Nicole Brown, how are you? So, I am back for the second time. Hey, boo, hey. I am back for the second time. That was for Ashley. I'm back for the second time today. And it's interesting. I was having this conversation earlier with a girl that I mentor her. And so we were, every once in a while we'll sit down. You so Ashley. So every once in a while we'll sit down and we'll go over her goals. She is a junior in college. And every once in a while we'll sit there and we'll go over her goals and we'll try to figure out really what is the next best move for her. And so, I'm like a big dreamer, like a huge dreamer. It's like I don't really often tell people my goals, but we decided that we are going to, I decided that I was going to sit down and I was going to share with her kind of what my goals are. Hey guys, thank you for joining. If you have, if you feel it in your heart, thank you for the hearts. I appreciate it. Also, if you could share the broadcast, I would appreciate that as well. I think this is a really important conversation to have because I think that often when we set goals that are reasonable. So we set goals that probably should just be on the to-do list and can't even really be considered a goal because you don't really have to stretch to get it. And so one of the conversations I was having with, her name is Jasmine. One of the conversations I was having with Jasmine is like, how do you know when your dreams are too big? And my response was, if your dreams, and it's a quote that I saw somewhere, but I've always adopted it. So I'm not exactly sure where I saw the quote, but just know that it's a quote. So my thought is always that, if your goals don't scare you a little bit, then they're really not big enough. So I wanted to talk today about what to do when your goals scare you. So just type in the box, hey, LaFonda, how are you, honey? Just type in the box if just type me if you had to keep it to myself. I know you do. Natalie on Tucker said, me. And so I know that she does because I see her goals on Twitter just about every day. But just type in there me if you have goals that are talk about a lot is that, like I said, if your dreams aren't big enough that they should scare you. And if you've ever read, I think it's Tim Ferriss's book, 4-Hour Workweek, that talks about thinking big and says that so many people, hey, Shauna, how are you? Thanks for the hearts and the likes, guys. I appreciate it. He's the author of the 4-Hour Workweek, and he talks about how everybody, they're scared to dream too big. So we have like these kind of middle of the road, medium, just kind of blasé goals. But there's a lot of us that have these middle of the road goals. And so we're all like right here in the middle, fighting each other for these mediocre goals instead of really going for like what we want, like what we really dream of, like really thinking about the life that we want to create. And so people are like, well, maybe I can't do it. And I know insecurity and self-doubt plays a lot into our fears and why we don't really go after what we want. But guess what? Like 98% of us are insecure or have doubts or have fears. Hey, Dr. Sabrina, how are you, honey? I haven't seen you in a while. I hope all is well in your world. And so we really have to start thinking about like what we really want and setting those goals so high that they scare us a little bit. And so what I wanted to talk to you about today and what I kind of had the conversation with Jasmine about is what do you do when your goals are scary? No, absolutely, Ashley. I think that we all, Ashley said that sometimes it's just being scared to fail. And I think that's always a part of it. And I think the more you put on the line, obviously the harder the fail will be. But everybody fails. It's like we all fail. I was watching Tony Robbins, I guess it was 2 days ago or something, and they were talking about, how many times people normally fail before they get it, before they succeed, like how much failure has to come before a success. And he was giving the analogy of a child just learning to walk. And like how many chances do we give this child to walk before we say, you know what, you'll never walk. Just give up. Don't do it. You're not going to be a walker. Like, who does that? And so as adults, we have to be more patient and more gentle with ourselves when it comes to the fail. I mean, because you are going to fail. In fact, people encourage you to fail faster. Like, go ahead and get through the fail so that you can go ahead and get to the success. So fear of failure is very real, but it's not reality. Because if you think back on your life, in all the successes, even just learning to walk, I mean, that in itself is a success. Getting through school, that's a success. Getting your first job, learning to drive. You have such a record and a history of success that fear really shouldn't be your reality, but it is. And then Shauna, very smart Shauna, then Shauna says, or you're scared of success, which is a lot of people's fear too. A lot of people self-sabotage, like they'll get right there. They're like right at the cusp, but they're like, they're going to have this breakthrough. And then they do something that just totally messes it up. And then wonder why they can't be successful. So it's like, goals. Right, Leo, I agree. It's like Leo says, if it doesn't scare you, then it's really not worth doing. And I think that's absolutely right. I mean, it's like I said, if your goals, if you just feel good, like you can accomplish this, then it really should just be on your to-do list. It's really not a goal. Your goal should stretch you. Your goals should stretch other people. Your goals should be an inspiration. I mean, I wake up every day knowing what my goals are and knowing that I have to work. There are tons of days that I want to just stay in the bed and watch reality TV or eat ice cream. But the way my goals are set up, that is just not allowed. That's right. Dr. Sabrina said that success sometimes is a new normal for people who have not been, they may have had some success, but they haven't had this overwhelming amount of success. And so it's uncomfortable. And I totally agree, which is why, just the thinking and being used to some things is why a lot of lottery winners lose all their money. It's like you win $5 million and like, how do you lose it? Because you're not used to this new normal. And so you don't know how to handle it. And so, spending all your money or giving it all away or not investing it wisely, I mean, that's a form of self-sabotage because you're not used to this success. So I shared with Jasmine earlier, and I thought it was a great discussion to have because so many of us are trying to do so many amazing things, but we do get scared. I mean, there are times when I'm like, whoa, how am I going to get that done? But then I also tell people, I mean, really sometimes you don't need to worry about the how as much as focusing on the end result. Sometimes the how will take care of itself. But that's a whole nother discussion. So what do you do when your goals scare you? That's what I want to talk about. So first of all, you have to think big. I mean, like I said, if it's not big, then it really should just be on your to-do list. Exactly. Deborah says that she's about to embark on something new. So yay for you. And that she's doing it because she doesn't want to live with regret of if she doesn't do it. And I totally agree with that too. So sometimes it's like, are you going to be happy not doing it? Or are you going to be happy if you do it and not have to live with that regret? So you have to make that decision in life. So one of the things that I say is first, once you set that goal, know that you have to do something, right? So one of the biggest frustrations for me with this whole vision board, era that we're in, and I love vision boards, do not get me wrong. I am a big vision boarder. I envision things. I am one of those people that believes that your thoughts do control your reality. So I'm a big, I put it on the board, yes. But know that once you put it on the board, that you absolutely have to take some action. So, and it should excite you. Like your goal should excite you enough to want to do things. So I am all for putting, that red Corvette on the board and envisioning it and loving it. But you have got to do, and yes, Shauna, you have got to take inspired action. So one of the things that I do in the morning before I even start my day, I meditate and I pray and I do all of that. But I also ask, what should I be doing? Like, where is my time going to be spent best today and getting closer to my goal? And so sometimes it's really just kind of opening yourself up to be led by whatever higher power you believe in. to take those inspired actions, but you do have to act. And sometimes that goal is so big that you have to chunk down the goal. So you have to break it up into, kind of bite-sized pieces, but knowing that you are taking action to get to the huge goal. So it really, like I said, it should incite you. You should excite you. You should really want to take action. But you have to take action. You cannot just say, okay, well, this is the goal, and expect the goal to drive up in your driveway. It doesn't do that. And then I think that we have to really be patient with ourselves. So I'm like the kind of person, like, I expect things to kind of, yes, Laura, I am a to-do list girl. So if I don't have a to-do list, then I am in trouble. So so sometimes it is chunking it down and then making a list so that you can take those steps. And then we just have to be patient with ourselves. There's a quote that says that we overestimate what we can achieve in a year, but we massively underestimate what we can achieve in a decade. So not everything is going to fall right into place just because you wish it. Sometimes the miracles happen in the 11th hour and not the first, right? So we have to be patient with ourselves. We have to hold on, and we have to be consistent. Hey, Deborah, how are you, darling? Hey, Andre, good to see you. We have to be kind of persistent in that action, even though things have not materialized the way that we thought that they would. It's like I look back at, goals and vision boards. My son's over there doing a dance. Do you want to come say hi, or are you just going to dance off to the side? That's my youngest son. You may, for just a second. He wants to go outside. So anyway, that's a little family break. So you have to be dedicated, you have to be persistent, you have to take continuous action. Don't laugh at my child. You have to take continuous action, but you have got to take action, and you have got to be patient with yourself. Those are like the two big things. The next thing is you need to create some kind of accountability. Somebody that's going to hold you responsible. Yeah, mom still got to be mama. Still got to make it happen. I'm surprised you haven't heard the dog yet. So you have to have some kind of accountability. So I always suggest to clients that they start a blog or start a hashtag on social media. Tell a friend, tell your family, tell somebody that you trust, get a coach, get an accountability partner, whatever it looks like to you. Tell somebody that is going to hold you accountable, that can say, hey, weren't you supposed to be doing A, B, and C? What happened? Why aren't you doing A, B, and C? So you have to have some kind of accountability, because unfortunately, times will get hard. And so, it becomes hard in those challenging times to stay on the course of persistent, inspired action. So you have to have somebody that's going to hold you accountable. I think Facebook groups are great for this. I mean, you can just form a small little coalition of your close friends and family, or just some colleagues that you trust that can keep you inspired, and you all can keep each other inspired, but that they can hold you accountable. So if you have not done that, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're trying to, like I said, do something really big, that you want to do it. And then the last thing is just to stop talking about it. So it's like we will talk our goals to death. We will plan, we will strategize, we will map out, and all that does really is prevent us from taking action. So you have to get to work. You have to do it. You take a small step today, take a bigger step tomorrow, whatever it does. I tell people all the time, I do so many things with my knees shaking that it's not even funny. But you have to do it. You have to get to work. And so after all is said and done, nothing is going to happen without you working for it. Nothing is just going to be, I don't think, ever given to you. I think that, there's grace. And I think that, some people, are more open to opportunity and take better advantage of opportunity, but you still have to put in the work. You absolutely have to show up and put in the work. So I hope that helps somebody. It helped me today when I was talking to Jasmine. It helped me really kind of refocus and get re-energized about some of the goals that, have been kind of frustrating me a little bit. And so I thought I would share it here. Like I said, I was already on earlier today, and so now y'all have to deal with me twice in one day. But I just thank you, Shauna. It's like I tell people all the time, it's like you see people online and you see people that are really doing some great things, and so it seems like they're fearless. And I guess that is a certain kind of courage to be able to do things even though you're terrified. But you have to, you just have to do it. And so, a lot of times I talk about like kind of what the behind the scenes will look like sometimes, because it's just a mess. But it looks great, in the forefront. But, sometimes you just have to make it do what it do, and what it looks like back here doesn't matter, but you just have to do it. So, just to go back through, first of all, you have to think big. You have to get into the habit of thinking bigger, and stretching your goals, and that sort of thing. And then once you do that, you have to take some kind of inspired action in order to get to that goal. You can't just, wish for it. You got to work for it, as Tom Joyner would say. And then you have to be patient with yourself. You have to be persistent, but you also have to be patient. Rome wasn't built in a day. And so a lot of times when the goals are bigger, it takes a little bit longer in order for them to come to fruition. A lot of times, because we don't really believe that they're going to happen. And so when you're focusing on them not happening, it takes longer for them to happen than if you're really putting great energy behind them happening. Hey, D. Lee, how are you? So you really have got to be patient with yourself. Create an accountability program, find an accountability partner, call your mama and tell her, and have her call you once a week and say, hey, what have you done to get towards this super scary goal that's going to be amazing once it really happens? And then you have to get to work. You really have got to start doing it. So I'm going to go finish cooking dinner now. The life of a mom. But I just wanted to share that with you. And actually, go do it, Nat. I want you to do it. That is so awesome. Natalie says that she's been procrastinating on something huge, so she'll take one step. All it takes is one step. Take that first step, and then another step, and then another step. Wayne, thank you. I appreciate it. Hey, Bernice. How are you, darling? Talking about big goals, Bernice is an amazing author. If you're not familiar with Bernice McFadden, she's an amazing author that just creates beautiful things. Yeah, I'm a Jamaican at that, so I'm always I am always multitasking. But one of the things that I was talking to a girlfriend about is learning that, especially as women, we have to learn to not just survive. Like, we're so focused on just getting through the day sometimes that we really don't enjoy it. And for me, it's like I'm so fed up with that, and so I'm actually going to start. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you love my photos. So I really want to start something about thriving and not just surviving. So I actually put these tips into kind of like a pamphlet. And you can get that if you want it. It's at, let me remember the website. It's at thrivenotsurvive.club. thrivenotsurvive.club, and you can actually get that if you'd like it. But I just hope this helps. I think that we all have big dreams, and sometimes they get squashed because life can get hard, and life can get challenging, and life can get real. But we have to go back to being the dreamers and the doers and the creators, because it really does change the world. So I just appreciate you guys, and I thank you for tuning in, and all of the shares and all of the hearts and all of the likes and all of the love. And we'll do more of this because I think that it's really needed. I learned just as much from you guys as you learned from me. So having these kind of exchanges are really, really important. So I just appreciate you guys. So I will see you later. Enjoy your night, and thanks again. See ya.